Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, November 6th, 2023. How did it get to be November? I'm here with my weekly cross-stitching update, and I got a lot to show, and I might have to film this in 2 sections, so we'll just do what we can and wait and see. I did get a few things this week, which was fun. So I won a giveaway over on Carolyn Cezek Stitches channel. Is this from her? No, that's from Colette. And I won her pumpkins pattern. It's called Floral Pumpkin by Buttons and Beads. She recently finished this. Super cute. I have Dove Gray Monaco, which is what she stitched hers on. So I was like, oh, I could do it just like you. But then I have my frame with Buttons and Beads kits in it that I'm rotating, so I might just do that. And I also have, she just sent me the pattern, so I need to source the supplies, and I do have perforated paper, so I may do that. We'll see. Because I have a finishing spot for it already, so I might as well do it that way. And then I got, let's put this over here. One of the giveaway winners recently sent me a little treat that her and her husband have a 3D printer that she's learned how to work with as well, and so they gave me some accoutrement. So this is a thread organizer that goes all the way up to 16, which is nice because some thread organizers have like 5 or 6 holes. Like, I need more than that for my projects. Most of the things that I do have lots of colors, so these are good for travel stitching because I do like to get things up that way. And then 2 needle minders that she also 3D printed. They're like a Celtic heart and a Celtic cross. So there's a cute, very strong, and I think they'll be nice and lightweight because it's that 3D printing plastic material, which is perfect. So like wooden ones and this lightweight plastic, those are great for stitching in hand. So thank you, that's fun. And I was very happy. All my giveaway winners contacted me very quickly, and I was able to get all of those out in a timely manner. So I'm happy about that. And let's see. Oh yeah, and my daughter received some happy mail from Colette, the Highway Stitcher. We were chatting this week, and last week. We were chatting last week, and she had just finished this pattern. My daughter's been enjoying beefing up her stash. So she's gathering her own patterns, and she wants to have her own box of floss, and she is taking more of an interest in cross-stitching lately. So this is the pattern that Colette recently finished. It's called Lady Catherine Kitty Hello and Goodbye. And it's a needlebook pattern, which is fun because then my daughter can have a place to put needles in her new stash. But it's got the front of a kitty that says kitty, and the back of a kitty that has kitty spelled backwards, which is cute. So far she wants to stitch it as charted, but we may darken up this lighter color in the cat and make it look a little bit closer to smoky. We'll see. She actually started this last night. She's like, I want to start that. Like, okay. So I pulled out some 14 count light blue Aida, and she got started on the forward facing kitty. Just started at her ear and was working down. So that's as far as she got last night. But she's excited, and I'm excited that she's taking an interest in cross stitching. And I thought while I had this out to show you, I haven't shown this recently, but she did have a finish a couple months ago. That was this Dimensions kit that I showed that she'd worked on previously, and she finally finished that. So here's this one. This is, I think, 11 count Aida, and got that one done. And then this is a kit that my nieces gave her. I don't know where they got it, but it's one of those Chinese kits that's pre-printed on the fabric, and it's a key on the beach. So it's kind of hard to see, but she's been really enjoying this, and this is the one that kind of, she's taking ownership of the craft, where she wants to work on it on her own. It's so learning how to thread the needle and start and finish threads and all of that kind of stuff, which I've been doing for her on a lot of this stuff. So it's nice. You won't be able to see a whole lot. I'll probably show you the back as well. But it's like one of those printed kits that looks like nothing. We might take this part off too. Just do the cat. But she's done a lot of this, and some of this black is new, and she's got like pink in the ears and in this cup, so you can see kind of on the back what she has done. So not a whole lot, but she's spending more time on it than she had in the past. So I don't know if I have a before picture, but I'll go ahead and put that one up there for next time I share that. So that's been fun to encourage her interest in the craft. And I'm not pushing her. If she wants to work on it, she will. And if she doesn't, that's fine. But I think I will get her some of her own things for her birthday this year. There's a pattern by Kitty and me that we saw together that I think she would enjoy. So I was going to kit that up and then get her one of the little bobbin boxes that she can keep some of her own floss in there and things like that. And some of the patterns I got from my friend Pat at the local needlepoint store a few weeks ago had cats on them, and she took them all and put them in her room in her craft bin. So she's developing her own stash of kitty patterns. Okay, so travel stitching. I'll at least do this much. This is temperature Quaker. This is the temperature piece I'm doing this year, one of my designs in my Etsy shop. I finished October and started the first little thing in November. Worked on this yesterday. Here is where mine is at now. This is 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, 1/1 full cross. So it got October finished and cooler colors there at the end of October. A little warmer in the 80s here at the beginning of November. So hopefully we'll see some more cool colors the rest of the year. That would be nice. Cool weather is nice. And it didn't get that hot this year for our area. I never reached the top 2 colors, which was also nice, but not for stitching. Did I work on? Yeah, I think I did a little bit on Frosted Pumpkin. This is the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Castle Homecoming Club. This is all the parts that are out now. I was working on the princess. Got her mostly done while I was chatting with my sister. That's the back. Here we go. So here's where this is at now. This is 28 count Ice Blue Lugana 1/1 full cross with kind of a fancy floss conversion. So here's my princess. I got her fully stitched, I think, except for one jewel in her crown. And I backstitched her face, and I have some more of the thin Gutermann silk on my needle I'm using for backstitching on this one because it's 1/1 on 28 count. And I'm going to do that on the torch here as well. There's some like grating on the edge of the torch. Then I think I'll move up and work on the jousting scene after that. I'll do the dragon later because I want to do whatever's highest in the pattern first because of how I hold my fabric. But I wanted to finish that princess, so that's fun. And my main travel piece that I worked on this week was a focus piece. That I recently designed and will put on my Etsy shop maybe this week. We'll see, this week or next week. And it's called Smiling at the Future, from a verse in Proverbs. And I was essentially commissioned to make this for a giveaway for a women's conference at my church this weekend. So I didn't have a lot of time because I forgot about it. So I did this for lots of travel stitching and time at the dentist and time at family dinner and time during Lego Masters, like any time, a little bit during my normal stitching as well to get it finished. And I framed it this morning. So here is this one. It's on 28 count. Hobby Lobby light blue even weave by Zweigart, the Artiste brand. And I think it's just whatever light blue they had. And I think this frame I got at Michael's. It's a 5x5. And it's 1/1 full cross on the 28 count. So it's nice and cute and tiny compared to the 8x10. I mean the 8.5x11 printout. It's smaller than that. So I thought that'd be a cute small to give away. So it's not overwhelming in somebody's house. But I thought this frame kind of matched the blue, and there's a gold stitch in the center of the blue flowers. I thought that matched that nicely. And there weren't a whole lot of frame choices available in 5x5. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, I think that'll work nicely. So I'm excited to get that done. And so I can now go back to my Advent Animals this week. I'll be working on Cashmere Camel, which I showed you my starting point last week, but that's all I have started. So I'll be working on that this week in the car to get that going. And so I finished something else this week, which made me kind of feel like starting things because I finished 2 things. I really want to start those cats and hearts that I'm going to do next year, but I need to be good and finish the Advent Animals first. So I'm hoping I can finish those before the end of the year, and I have 4 left. So I'll hopefully start the cats and hearts for travel stitching before the end of the year. But since the last 2 weeks of the year are school break, I don't know how much time I'll have for travel stitching, but it'd be fun to get it started anyways. Okay, so I probably shouldn't get into anything else yet because I think I need to go pretty soon. So let's see. I guess I can do my, I'll do my bonus stitching here, and then I'll do my main stitching when I come back. So I did get a start on Bonnie and Camille Shine Bright Sampler, which I shared that I was going to be doing with the Fat Quarter Shop. And it's in this Quilt Bee book. It's based on this quilt on the front, and there's a cross-stitch version here in the back. It's called a Shine On sampler. And this particular sampler didn't appeal to me that much, but when they came out with their Shine Bright colorway, I fell in love with it. I thought, oh, I need to do that. So they broke it up into 12 sections to do this in a year. So the first section was all these X's and this donut, and I got started on it in October, but because of all the other things I was doing, it kind of fell by the wayside. I did not get the November section done yet, but I have all of November technically to finish it. So I'll show you where I got to. And going forward, I can show this every time if I have progress. So here is my progress on this one. It's on a nice pinky fabric. I think it's called Morganite. I'm stitching 1/2 on 40 count. Morganite by Fiber on a Whim, I think. And this is using the Ari Floss thread pack that they came up with at Fat Quarter Shop that has the colors that goes along with like a fabric line. I can't remember what the fabric line is called, that they're redoing the quilt with this new fabric line, and these colors kind of mimic the fabric line. So that's kind of where that started. So I have all the X's finished, and then I just need to finish this donut, which is a lot of stitching, but hopefully I can get that done this week maybe. Then I can move on to get a head start on December's section. We'll see. If I don't get the donut done this week, that's not the end of the world, but it would be nice to kind of chip away at that. So yeah, I can show you this now as I go along, because the Stitch Along has started on November 1st, so yay. And this is the one, like these red X's, the coverage wasn't as nice as I would have liked, so that's why when I was kitting up the Jardin Privé flower sampler, I opted to try silks because I think it would cover a little bit better, especially with the dark colors. So, but some of these middle colors, they look just fine. So I'm getting used to it. The 1/1 on 40 count is 1/2 on 40 count, which is the first time I've done that. I'm getting used to it and it's nice. It's nice. So I'm enjoying that and I'm excited to get to more than just X's because all the other little bits look really fun to stitch. So I think I will stop there and I'll come back later with a second part that shows what I worked on, main stitching this week, and plans for next week. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. First off, I have my letter S fairy, which was my main stitching on Monday. And I got just a little bit, I got her dress stitched and I think I like it. I have a color conversion that's going to give it like a S, a black, dark gray S, and then the dress is like a warm purple. But the thing with color conversions with fancy floss is sometimes because they have variegation in them, it doesn't necessarily work. But I had to redo one of the colors to hopefully have like a lighter shade in one section and a darker shade in another. And I think it's okay. All right, so here's this one. This is on the called for water lily linen, 32 count, 2/2 full cross. So I think it's gonna be good. The real one, the charted one does have this lightest color, is quite different than the others. So I think it'll be fine to be like that. So far they're playing nice together. So I think this one will come out today again. Is that what I'm doing? No, this is a Tuesday project. I just moved it to Monday this past week because I was working on a Halloween piece on Tuesday. So this will come back out again tomorrow and probably work on her hair and face and arms and things so that I can move up to the top of the S and get that going. Eventually I'll try, putting in some colors of her wings. It's nice to kind of test all the colors to make sure everything is looking how you hoped it would, and then change it if needed. So that was that one. Halloween Fairy came out on Halloween. Trick or Treat Fairy, whatever you want to call it, by Nora Corbett. This is a fun one. I didn't get a whole lot of time on Halloween. I took my kids, my younger two, out trick-or-treating, and there was a lot more house participation than I expected. We trick-or-treated in our neighborhood several years ago. We historically have gone to our their cousin's neighborhood and gone with a big group of cousins around that neighborhood and not done ours. There was one year, 5 or 6 years ago, some of the cousins were sick, so we just trick-or-treated on our own in our neighborhood. It was like, not great. We're like, yeah, the other cousin's neighborhood is definitely better. This year, I was shocked. There was so many people participating, so many people out and about, large groups, very community atmosphere. It was amazing. We actually didn't even get around the whole loop we were gonna do before we were like, we're done. My daughter was like, can we just go home? I'm tired. We had plenty of candy, and so we just kind of made a beeline for home at one point because it was like, all right, we're done. This is good. So it was nice, but that took more time than I kind of expected. All that to say, I did get my beading accomplished that I was hoping to, which is really fun. So here is Halloween Trick or Treat Fairy. This is on 32 count fabric flare, even weave in mushroom slushy, 2/2 full cross. And I got all the beading in her headdress done, which looks so fun, like so bright and cheerful. I put the beads in the owl's eyes as well and did one more color in him. I was hoping to get him done, but I ran out of time. So cute. Yeah, I love the orange and red and even the purple, but it's just like, it's like alive with color. So pretty. So I love that those beads will be used throughout the rest of the piece as well, because these beads gave it a really cool look, but it's nice that the rest of it will be more warm and fiery, so that's fun. Looking forward to the rest of that. Should bring that out here and there every year, probably a little bit. Then my main project was Christmas Sweater Cat, which was my focus on a finish for November by Stitch with Coffee on Etsy. And so this is the one, it's called Stockings. Christmas Stockings is the particular Christmas sweater cat in this series. There's more of them. This one had the word joy and it had knitting and socks and things. So I thought this would be perfect for my mom. And I finished it. Yay! So fun. Here is this one. This is the same 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim that I have my temperature quaker on. I did this 1/1 as well with all the called for colors that are DMC and étoile. However, it did also call for beading, but since I'm doing 1/1, I decided to switch out the beads for either étoile or whisper, depending on the color. So it does sparkle a little bit, which is fun. And another change that I made that's more obvious, these were supposed to be white. I made them kind of a yellowy gold color in the center of that flower. And then this, the back stitching on the ball of yarn was supposed to be white. To show the, and they used a fat chenille, which I just used 2 strands of my thread for this part. But I did this in white, but then because I'm doing 1/1 and then it's a 1 strand back stitch, it was very, very thick and made the ball mostly white. And it was like, I'm not so keen on that. So I took it out and I did it instead, the back stitching instead with the dark red, which was going to be the string color anyways. I thought that looked really nice, makes it sparkle. And I had a question how it was to work with the étoile, because a good amount of this was étoile. And I have this in here. It's DMC, it's very fuzzy. So it's got each strand has some sparkle in it. It's not like super sparkly. It's not a metallic, but it has a little bit of sparkle in with the fiber. I found, especially when I was threading or starting the, like weaving it under the stitches, it kind of stretches and I would sometimes need to snip off the end after weaving it under the stitches to start because it would pull unevenly as I was pulling it under the stitches. So, but once I was actually stitching with it, it works very, very fine. I didn't have any trouble with breaking or excessive fraying on the end. So it's pretty nice to work with. It's just a little bit stretchy and not as tightly woven as regular thread. But it worked nicely and I'm happy that this is done. I haven't 100% figured out how I want to finish it. I know I want it an ornament, I think. But part of me wants to just find a cute little frame because I like those tiny little frames that you can find at Michael's or Hobby Lobby and put it in there. It's probably like, I don't know, like 2.5 by 3. Yeah, probably a 2 by 3. It's so cute and tiny. But I don't know if that would be as useful or helpful to decorate with at Christmas time as an ornament would be to just put it on your tree. So we'll see. I'll show that fully finished later when I have figured it out. And then I finished that on Saturday. I finished my Smiling at the Future on Sunday. And then I also worked on my Celtic Ladies sampler on Sunday as my seasonal Sunday stitch for the month of November. And in this month, I'll be working on the autumn quadrant. And then next month it's coming out again and I'll work on the winter quadrant in December. So you'll see it back-to-back months. I'm hoping next year I can alternate it a little bit more, but we'll see. I have this one and I have the montages and I have technically colors of the seasons I could maybe fit in there too, but that one might be in the focus spot, and then I can give my montages a little bit more time. I don't know, we'll see. But I took parts of the lavender and lace Celtic ladies and made them into this collage. I can email you the outline of where everything goes. Then if you have the patterns, you can know where to place them. So you can send me an email if you want that. I think in my whip parade, I forgot to mention, I said it was all called for. The colors of their dresses are all called for. These two are the only ones where their hair and skin is called for. So this is a blonde girl and this is a red-haired girl. But then these two I changed. So this one I made a dark-skinned, black, more of a black hair girl, and this one is more medium skin tone with brown hair. So I thought that would be a little bit more interesting. And so I like how it's looking. Didn't get a lot of time yesterday because I was working on a lot of other things as well. But here is this one. And this is on 32 count lamb's wool linen, 2/2 full cross. I'll do a before and after of just autumn. So I did all of that hair at 206 stitches. When I charted this, I charted it into my software so I can use Pattern Keeper, which is fun. But I do have to go back and look at the charts for like the facial backstitching and things of that nature. So yeah, so this is fun. I'm hoping to get a good amount done on her because I think it would be fun to have all their faces and, you know, a representative sample of their hair on all 4 ladies by the end of the year. So then you can kind of see how it's gonna look all coordinated. And so when I come up to December, I might work on winter some more like I did here. I finished spring's letters entirely, but I do want to make sure I focus and get her face in. That's like a high priority, I think, for December. So yeah, make sure the colors I chose for the conversion on that look good as well, because I think I might have needed to adjust my hair on the summer one a little bit. So I want to make sure that the colors I chose on my winter lady will look nice. All right, so I think that's everything I worked on this week. And I showed you what my daughter worked on this week. So going forward, today is Family Monday, so I'm gonna work on my son's Visit Endor piece. See how much I can get done on that. This is by Country Magic Stitch. And this is 2/1 half cross on 28 count Dove Gray Monaco. So because this is a new month, I'm going to do this another day on this, another day on all my other ones throughout the month on Mondays. So yeah, probably do some more trees and more sky and, you know, all the things to keep filling it in. It'll get a little bit more interesting down the bottom, but I'm still kind of finishing out that sky area. And then I'll work on my letter fairy on Tuesday. And my main project for this week is going to be Winter Rose by Lavender and Lace, because I got my Christmas sweater cap finished and I had slotted that for 2 weeks because that's my focus on a finish for the month. And so it's done now. So yay. So I can work on Winter Rose, which is my full Fancy Lady bonus piece. And we'll see how far I can get on this month. It would be really nice to be able to put this in the list for a focus on a finish next year. So we'll see how much I can get done on it this year. So here is my starting point. This is on 56 count, I think. Oh, I can't remember. It's like some gray. I'll figure it out and tell you next week. But it's 1/2. And I think it's really cute. So these top corners are all finished, and I was able to start in on her last time, so I'll definitely be able to work more on her and possibly some background as well as I work my way down. So that'll be nice. It's fun. And this one doesn't have any beads, so that's why I can do it small. And I'm excited to get more of that finished. And I think that's everything. I'll work on my Celtic ladies again on Sunday. And it looks like another part of the Castle Homecoming Club will come out on Thursday. So depending on where that is, I might do that instead of the jousting scene, but we'll wait and see when that comes. So I think that's everything for now. Hope you have a wonderful week, a good beginning of your November, and happy stitching. Bye.